Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webcast titled Demystifying the Technical Innovations that Enable Digital Transformation. I'd like to thank you all for taking time out of your day to join us from wherever you may be in the world. My name is Melissa Topp, and I'm the Senior Director of Global Marketing here at ICONICS. Before I turn it over to our presenters for today, I'd just like to go over a few housekeeping rules. Right now in GoToWebinar, you're in a listen-only mode. That means if you have any questions at any time throughout the presentation, you can use the questions and answers section of the GoToWebinar panel to type in your questions. And we'll do our best to answer those for you at the end of the webcast. And with that, I'm going to introduce you to our presenters for today. Today we have Nathan Smith, the North American Channel Sales Director for Advantech's IIoT Group. We also have Thomas Burke, our Global Director of Industry Partnerships. Mariana Alvarado, Marketing Specialist for CLPA. And last but certainly not least, we rounded out with Roy Koch, Partners and Alliances Manager with CLPA. So without further delay, I'll turn things over to you, Tom, to get us started with a little introduction.
Thank you very much, Melissa, and thank you everyone for attending our webcast today. So today I really want to talk about the value proposition of the digital transformation, and we're working closely with our partner Advantech to really bring products to market that really enable our customers to operate and deliver value to our customers concerning the digital transformation. The digital transformation really is a cultural change, and that's been going on for quite a while, and allows to continually change essentially the way you do business to the way you do business tomorrow. So the most important part of the digital transformation is really about the 6 stages of the digital transformation. And what I like to talk about with respect to that is when you first thought about the digital transformation, the beginning was it was just business as usual. Then I talk about what was known as present and active. Then I talk about more formalizing and doing a lot of experimentation. Then we moved into a strategic mode of the digital transformation. And ultimately, we're at the point in time now where we're really thinking about how to leverage and, the way business and executives think, and really change is a constant theme. And the whole concept of the digital transformation is really to form a whole new ecosystem that allows us to operate on all the technology and market trends, essentially to improve our operations and do, creative things like condition-based maintenance and predictive monitoring and maintenance. So when I take a look at a lot of these IoT devices and I talk about the core components for digital transformation, you think about this thing that are the things. They are the things that are wired or wireless, the sensors, basically that we're communicating to, allows you to take control. Then we connect these things up, leveraging our alliance partners with gateways. We, tie it all together with a complete network infrastructure. And ultimately, we're allowed to take all this data from all these things and turn it into information that we can essentially push into the cloud, or we can push into data centers. And this is where all the products come in from ICONICS and tying all this thing together. And then ultimately, you can view these things. And I talk about the whole any glass concept, where I can view all my data and information, directly from, connecting up from the devices in the cloud. So we're going to talk a lot about the digital transformation today. And I'm going to turn it over to Nathan now, who's going to talk about what he's been doing and what Advantech's doing and working with ICONICS basically to enable the digital transformation with their products.
And just a quick interruption, if I may, we're going to do a quick poll before I turn things over to Nathan. So let me go ahead and launch that poll question for everyone in the audience there today. And if you wouldn't mind, we'd love to hear from you. Where is your company in terms of digital transformation and leveraging Industry 4.0 concepts? And note that you can select as many answers as apply to you. So it's okay if you don't have expertise in-house to do this. We'd like to know. We're happy to help you. Or do you have a culture for continuous improvement, management support? Do you monitor equipment now for troubleshooting and alarming? Are you using real-time dashboards and reviewing your KPIs regularly? And are you leveraging the edge and performing cloud analytics? So I see a good number of you have responded. Keep those votes coming in. I'll keep the poll open for just a few more seconds here. It'll be really interesting to see how this comes out. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and close the poll, and then I will share the results for everyone to see. And so as you can see, we had 23% of people that don't have the expertise in-house yet to do this, but the overwhelming majority looks like 54% each got some kind of culture going on for continuous improvement management support and are monitoring equipment right now for troubleshooting and alarming. So Tom, Nathan, any commentary you'd like to remark on about these results? Is it any surprises that you see here?
Yeah, hi, this is Nathan. Yeah, I would say I'm not too surprised. It seems many of the people are certainly thinking about this and putting maybe plans in place to start further implementing more of a digital transformation, which is sort of what this whole webinar is about. You know, some of the tools that'll help you do that. So I think it's sort of apropos that these people are at this stage, and we could talk about how to help them move along into the next stages of the whole digital transformation.
Absolutely agree. Good stuff. So perfect segue there then, Nathan. We'll turn things over to you. Take it away.
Okay, well, thanks, Melissa, and thanks, Tom, and thanks to the CLPA and ICONICS people as well for giving me the opportunity to talk here. And do you want to pass me some control, Melissa, or do I have it?
You should be able to advance your slides, but I'm happy to help you out if that
Yep,
presents an issue.
I think I've got it now. So,
Perfect.
so as I think many of you are aware, the whole ICONICS solution takes you from the edge to the cloud with their IoT works down close to the edge all the way up to their cloud solutions and various stops along that way. And what Advantech can do from a hardware standpoint is give you the platforms to launch these ICONICS SCADA solutions on. So that's some of the things I'm going to talk about in this presentation. And the very first part we want to talk about, of course, is how do we get this data? So as digital transformation becomes a bigger part of our factory automation environment, there's going to be a greater need to collect data from the plant floor. And much of that data is readily available through existing devices controlling the production process. But there's a large amount of ancillary production data that can provide valuable insights into the production process and overall efficiencies that is not being collected. That can be things like the term islands of automation that aren't connected and stranded assets and those type of things that I think that Advantech has the various data collection modules that can be deployed throughout the factory and even remote sites to help collect this data, whether we're doing it wirelessly or wired. So along those lines, I'm going to ask you to advance that, Melissa.
Sure
Okay.
thing.
Yeah, there we go. So if we're talking about control systems and IoT systems, so their control systems are really what's in the process and controlling the process. It's real-time data, very deterministic, very high speed, and typically those are going to be wired solutions. The IoT end of the thing is more looking for endpoints and data points, remote data points, to publish the data out periodically. It's typically lower speed, lower bandwidth type thing, and it's can be wireless connected. So we're not really doing control with wireless connected, but we can do some pure data collection with these things. And we have some of these devices that are battery powered devices, or some will call them sleepy devices that sort of wake up, send data, and then go back to sleep again to help preserve battery life. So as part of those things we offer, Advantech has several different wireless sensing technologies There's their traditional Wi-Fi, which we all know and love and sometimes hate, because we know we have issues sometimes in our own homes going from the top floor to the bottom floor with our signals. But the Wi-Fi, 802.11 Wi-Fi is a high bandwidth, short distance kind of communication, and it's very good for doing video streaming, audio streaming, as we know, around the house and in our offices. But some of the other technologies we offer, like Smart Mesh IP and LoRa WAN, those are lower bandwidth technologies, but they're much more reliable, much greater distances. The Smart Mesh is a redundant network, but it's all about sending bits and bytes of data. We're not going to do any video, we're not going to do any audio streaming, but we're just going to be collecting data from our assets. And then we also do the same type of technology with cellular things. So we will have, for really remote assets, we could have an IO module that is collecting the data and then connecting to a cellular network. So just to talk about a little more detail of some of these devices that Advantech offers. So our WISE 4000 series is our Wi-Fi modules, and there's different modules we offer here with different IO combinations we can add to the bottom of these. So they're fairly flexible, but these are, again, talking 802.11. They're typically going to connect to an access point somewhere to get the data in. We have analogs and digitals and relays and counters. But again, we're looking more at data acquisition with these because they're 10 to 100 samples per second. So we're really not doing high-speed type applications. The next technology we offer is what we call our Wizard or Smart Mesh technology. So this is a 802.15 technology that communicates through a gateway. So all these nodes out there talk back to a gateway, and that gateway then connects into your SCADA system, whether it connects hardwired, or in fact, we offer an option that's a cellular connection as well. But what's nice about the Smart Mesh is it's a redundant network. So if any one of these nodes loses communication back to the gateway for some reason, something happened on the plant floor, or if I'm a little bit remote and some truck got in the way of some signal I'm trying to broadcast or something, it'll go look for another node, and that other node can then connect back to the gateway. So you have a sort of redundant network going on here. And this is probably going to be a little better in factories for factory floor communication because of the redundancy of the network versus the Wi-Fi. And then another network type of technology we offer is our LoRa WAN, and LoRa WAN is becoming a very popular mainstream network out there in the marketplace, both in smart city applications and industrial applications. And the LoRa technology is, again, a publicly used technology out there. It's licensed by Semtech, but it's a point-to-point. Still requires a gateway, but all the nodes will talk directly back to the gateway. The advantage to the LoRa WAN, it's low power and very long distance, so I can go up to 3 to 5 kilometers with this type of technology. So this is better suited for some remote type applications. Although Advantech is coming out with some LoRa WAN sensors that are going to be very good for in-plant things, because we have, you'll notice one in the middle, the WISE 2410. That's a vibration, battery-powered vibration sensor that talks LoRa. So you could actually mount this onto a pump or a motor somewhere and now do a trend analysis of that motor to do some sort of predictive maintenance, and that would communicate back to our gateway. So we offer different options with these type of devices, and again, analog and digital inputs. Some of these are class 1, div 2, depending on your applications. So it's another way to help collect some of the wireless data. And yeah, I know in some processes where the wireless is becoming valuable is if you're in the medical, pharmaceutical type applications, it's hard to go into those locations and rewire the process to collect the data, because then you have to recertify your production process to meet pharmaceutical standards. If you're doing it wirelessly, you're not really affecting the process. It's wire transmission, battery operated. You can just tap into that and collect your extra data without having to recertify your process. So that's another advantage of some of the wireless technologies. And then Advantech offers a range of wired devices as well. And again, these are more the data acquisition mode. So we're not doing high speed here. It's 10 to 100 samples per second type thing, but we have serial versions. We've got Modbus TCP versions. Some of the common field bus protocols out there, Ethernet IP devices. And then we've got now some intelligent devices out there that are talking OPC UA and some other ones that actually have some small Linux engines inside them. I can do some light programming and maybe run a Node-RED application to communicate MQTT. And one of those devices is our Atom 6300, and this one is again communicating OPC UA, so it's got its own little processor in there, so it doesn't require an extra gateway to do that. So I can bring my I/O into it. I can daisy chain these units together and then talk OPC UA, and I would be talking that back into the ICONICS environment, whether I'm going directly into the ICONICS cloud or maybe to one of their other SCADA nodes. That allows me to communicate directly OPC UA. Okay, so that's sort of talking about collecting the I/O. The next step in the process is I get it into the gateway. So the IoT Works is a gateway software device, and now we put it on our hardware, and it becomes a hardware IoT Works gateway hardware platform. And that is based on one of Advantech's products, an UNO 137, but that device has the Wi-Fi built into it, and it's got some expansion capability, got a little bit of I/O, but it'll have the software in there to communicate downstream to your I/O devices and networks, and then upstream into the ICONICS SCADA world. And a little more information about that particular device, just gives you some of the details here. This is mainly about how would I connect devices to this gateway? And so I've got USB connections, I've got Ethernet connections, I've got some serial connections. I've actually got some I/O here. I could actually wire I/O to it if I needed to. So it's fairly flexible about how we expand this device. You'll notice that one module there says iDoor expansion slot. That would even allow me to put a cellular modem into this device. And if I'm remote, I could communicate cellularly from this gateway. So there's a lot of flexibility about how we can communicate with this device. And then once we're networking these devices together, what we want to start doing is looking at the CC-Link IE field bus protocol out there. And Advantech now offers some switches that support that. So you can get 5-port, 8-port, and 16-port switches, and some of them have fiber built into them as well, but they will support the CC-Link protocol. So that fits nicely into the whole Mitsubishi ICONICS deployment. And then something new out in this space is something called TSN, or time sensitive networking. And this is another layer of functionality on the CC-Link protocol, and it's the time-sensitive network sort of allows engineers and technicians to more precisely understand the exact timing it will take for traffic to cross the network. So it makes it a little bit more of a deterministic and real-time network when you're using TSN. And once I'm doing that now, it allows me to bridge a little bit from sort of the factory floor into the front office, or that OT to IT connection, because we can share the same network without having to worry about latency due to whatever's happening in the IT world, where they're not quite so concerned about real-time communication, and our OT world, where we're very much concerned about it. But having it all on the same network allows a much more efficient operation of the data transfers and getting things up into clouds, and helping with the whole digital transformation process, because we want to share that data across many different platforms and connections. And then as we sort of move along this process again with the ICONICS software, we're looking at visualization. So you're going to have some place to look at the screens we're building with the graphics from ICONICS. And so Advantech offers quite a range of PCs to run the ICONICS SCADA software on, anywhere from a small 6-inch up to a large 24-inch. So these can be deployed close to a machine, on a machine. They can be deployed in control room. So there's a lot of different options for how we might want to do some visualization here. And then if we take that one step further, now we're getting up into on-premise server type solutions. So Advantech offers various platforms that allow us to have servers deployed in the industrial space. So these are ruggedized fanless boxes. Some of these run 24-volt operations. So depending on how you're deploying the Genesis software, you could have it run on a Dell server or something if it's in a front office, but if you're out on the floor, you might want to have a more industrial box out there, and Advantech can support that with our industrial server products. So that kind of addresses the whole range of things where Advantech can, from a hardware standpoint, address the whole device to cloud solution that ICONICS is managing. So they're providing the solution, we're providing the platforms to make all that happen. So that's generally how I would position what Advantech's doing here. And, you know, we'll have some questions later on, but I guess at this point, I'll turn that back to you, Tom. And
Thank you, Nathan, and thank you for the wide range of products that you have. This is the reason we're partnering with Advantech, because they basically provide a complete, you know, set of products that really helps us enable the whole digital transformation. Today, I want to talk a little bit more about the ICONICS IoT strategy and why this is so important, and you'll quickly learn why we've partnered with Advantech, you know, as part of the key strategy in here. So first off, I really got to talk about what in the world is this IoT. I keep finding, you know, more and more different people that say, well, what is IoT, Tom? How does this apply? And how can we leverage this? So when you think about IoT, it's really just the Internet of Things. It's this network of smart devices, and I don't care what type of devices they are, you know, basically that, you know, can do everything from inside your, you know, inside your home, but more importantly, you know, what we can do with control systems and essentially, you know, connectivity and communication between all these possible devices is what the whole Internet of Things is about. So when I think of in terms of industrial automation, there's literally billions of things that are connected to control systems and in manufacturing, buildings, and all our infrastructure. And there's just a tremendous business potential to really harness and gather all this data and to turn it into useful information. And the IoT technologies really allow us to merge all these OT with the IT world, and that's really the whole thing of the digital transformation. So there's a lot of reasons that basically for adopting IoT, when you think about this from productivity and security, you know, there's a lot of reasons for IoT adoption. You think about safety and security. I think about, you know, operations optimization, QA, you know, and just employee productivity. And particularly in this remote world we're in right now, we're seeing so much opportunity across a variety of different industries, basically to leverage, you know, the IoT world. So, you know, a lot of the examples in businesses that I talk about, you know, basically connected infrastructure, connected machines, you know, we talk about, you know, machine builders and manufacturing and, you know, all the things from a business perspective that you really need. I want to improve my uptime. I want to do predictive maintenance. I talk about condition-based monitoring. And, you know, when you think about the infrastructure, you know, I want to manage all these geographical, you know, disparate microsites. I want to reduce deployment. And I really want to do remote monitoring control. And these are the key things that, you know, bringing together, you know, all these IoT products and leveraging Advantech along with Mitsubishi and ICONICS really provides a complete solution. So we know there's a lot of challenges with IoT. You know, I really want to establish bidirectional communication between these thousands of IoT devices, right? You know, that's a very important part of the equation. You know, the whole concept of authentication and security, you know, with the IoT solutions are part of the challenges. We want to automate, you know, essentially a lot of this provisioning and registration. And, you know, essentially, I just want this thing to be plug and play. And then the other thing is, and you'll quickly realize with the partners that we do with like Advantech, that we've really got a cost-effective platform that really allows our customers to, you know, really maximize their use and gather their data and turn it into information inside of, you know, and get it into the cloud. So if you look at this from an architectural perspective, you know, you talk about that lower level platform where the connectivity is. So I've got all these different networks out there. I got all these different protocols. And really what I want to do is I want to gather data from all those different, you know, devices that are connected to the different networks up there, and I want to push them into the edge. And essentially with our IoT Edge platform and, you know, all the different, you know, layers we have in there, you know, in terms of data aggregation and protocol translation, essentially we gather data from all these different devices, and then we can push it up into the cloud. And then ultimately, we can also push it directly into our client applications, whereas Nathan talked about, the whole concept of visualization and manipulating the data that we've gotten, and essentially to make decisions and really make, the operations more effective and really increase the operations so that, predictive maintenance can become a reality instead of a nightmare. So I like to talk about convergence of all these different devices into one IoT platform. And I talk about how you connect up the edge to the cloud and, leveraging all these things. So if you look at the far left of the screen, we've just got a multitude of sensors and equipment out there. And then, you got to connect up all these sensors through this multitude of automation systems that are out there. And these are both, for factory automation or process or building automation. And, it's just a wide variety of companies that are out there. And, in my previous life, I had the opportunity to work with all these companies deliberately. And then, essentially leveraging the open protocols and, really leveraging what we call our IoT work software, which is, basically encapsulates all these different protocols to connect up to all the automation systems and ultimately to push that information, through after you've analyzed the data and turned it into useful information, essentially up into the cloud, and to be able to visualize this is the key strategy. So, you take a look at this thing, and so from a software gateway perspective, IoT Works basically connects up to all these protocols, and essentially that's running on, the Advantech hardware. And, it leverages a variety of different protocols to get into our cloud applications, which allow us to do just so many different things, from history to system configuration to all sorts of visualization, and really enabling, this whole connected field service, engagement. And that's kind of the key thing there on the occasion. So with that, then I'm going to turn it over. I want to talk a little bit about this IoT Alliance overview and really what the IoT Alliance program brings to the table with partnering with like Advantech. So we know that our customers are looking for IoT solutions to connect their buildings and manufacturing facilities to the cloud. So essentially our IoT Work software really enables, the standard IoT devices and includes all these different communication protocols to really allow connectivity. So, we do a lot of things. We seek out different partners, and, basically Advantech offers a lot of different IoT hardware solutions to serve the growing market. And that really enables us to, accomplish and push together systems that provide a true solution for the digital transformation. So, we know that our products are important to ICONICS and Mitsubishi Electric Automation. Our program is designed to identify device vendors like Advantech who are building IoT products. And as you saw with Nathan's, the suite of products they have, it's not limited to just gateways. There's a lot of other things that are IoT products for industrial automation and building automation. And this is really the whole solution to build, commercial off-the-shelf complete IoT solution. So that's the real advantage of the program we have. There's a lot of benefits to both Mitsubishi Electric and ICONICS as well as the partners. And really our program is, it's designed to really help market and really bring products to market from the different partners like Advantech to really help our customers achieve and realize the digital transformation. And that's the excellent thing. So we've got a lot of providers that are part of it. Advantech's right in there with, all the majors, and this is a very important part of that. You can buy products from all these vendors that really use our IoT Work software to enable the digital transformation for you and really do convergence to IT and OT. Later on, Roy's going to talk a little bit more about the, what in the world this eFactory Alliance program is that we're bringing together. But again, this is another program that allows us to partner with a lot of different companies that enables the whole connection between IT and OT. It's based on something called Kaizen, which is basically it's allowing a way of analyzing data and making, potential decisions on investments. So with that, I want to talk, quickly here. This is our eFactory Alliance. Roy's going to go into a lot more detail, but it's about, taking device partners. Advantech's one of those partners, working with the system integrators and, software providers all the way around really roll out complete solutions. So, you know, we do security systems, we do vision system, we do robotics, and they're all tied into our whole eFactory Alliance program, which is a key strategy to enable the digital transformation and allow all these OT devices to be connected up to the IT and do what I talked about earlier, the whole bi-directional communication. So, you know, with that, that's kind of the quick summary of some of the programs that we have, the IoT Alliance and the eFactory Alliance. Next, I want to turn it over to Mariana, who's going to go through my favorite CLPA presentation that talks about the industrial, you know, internet and the industrial Ethernet and what Mitsubishi is bringing to the table with our open network solution.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, so as Tom said, I will give you a brief introduction about CLPA and CC-Link network technology and how we are focused on accomplish the new challenges of the digital transformation and Industry 4.0. So, well, the CC-Link Partner Association is a group of device manufacturers and end users of CC-Link certified products. Well, a little bit of history. Mitsubishi Electric developed the CC-Link technology, and in the year 2000, they released CC-Link to the public domain as an open network. As a result, the CC-Link Partner Association, CLPA, was created at the same year to manage the CC-Link network technology family. So now anyone that is interested in develop equipment with CC-Link technology can be part of CLPA and develop their products. CLPA has global presence and have regional offices all over the world. The headquarters are located in Japan, but we have offices all over the world. We have our office in the US, Mexico, Europe, and so on. The main services that CLPA provides or offers is to manage the CC-Link family of network protocol specification, provide technical and development support to members, provide CC-Link conformance testings of members' products, participate in trade shows, training, seminars, and other activities, and promote CLPA partner products in trade shows, publications, seminars, social media, and in our website. Now, about CC-Link technology, I will start with CC-Link IE. CC-Link IE, it's based on industrial Ethernet technology. All of them have a bandwidth of 1 gigabit per second. We are the only one in the market with this bandwidth. And well, you're able to combine safety, motion control, and energy management in the same network. They have flexible topologies and deterministic behavior. As you can see in the picture, there are different families of CC-Link IE, starting with the device level. So you will find CC-Link IE field, CC-Link IE field safety, and CC-Link IE field motion. And in the controller level, you will find CC-Link IE control, where the main difference is the physical wiring. In this family, you have 1 gigabit per second also as bandwidth, but the physical connectors are by fiber optics. And our most recent release now is the CC-Link IE TSN. This network technology is Ethernet-based that supports 1 gigabit or 100 meg of bandwidth. It will depend on the characteristics that you will need in your process. This network technology is also Ethernet-based, and we can combine also safety, motion, and general functions in the same network. TSN is an extension of standard Ethernet that regulates data communication, making it deterministic, providing the ability of combine different types of traffic in a single network. This is called convergence and provides the foundation of process transparency that is required in Industry 4.0. CC-Link IE TSN is the world's first open industrial Ethernet technology that combines a gigabit bandwidth with TSN, the first to take industrial networks to the next level. Now I will give you the control, Roy, for the next section that it will be about eFactory and eFactory Alliance.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mariana, and Tom and Nathan. It's been a great presentation so far. So I'd like to reinforce a couple of points that were already made and introduce two things, the concept of eFactory and what we've put together in terms of the eFactory Alliance program. And let me, there we go, thank you. So we have Industry 4.0 initiatives all around the world. It's not new to us. It's been introduced back in the 2011 timeframe by initiatives started over in Europe, but it has taken hold all around the world and falls under a number of names, from Industry 4.0 to smart manufacturing to robot revolution. But it's here to say, and this concept of digital transformation is growing immensely within the world. The interesting thing, though, is if you look at the Mitsubishi tagline, changes for the better, you'll see that this isn't a new concept for Mitsubishi. We, back in 2003, introduced eFactory as a concept of digital transformation and continuous improvement. So eFactory is the concept of increasing digital transformation affecting business. A very important concept and something that we've been practicing for years. Now, to learn a little bit more about this, I'm not going to play these videos, but Mitsubishi has an excellent YouTube channel with close to 200 videos about our products and initiatives. There are several excellent and thought-provoking videos that focus on digital transformation. You should have a look at them. We're going to be transferring these slides to you in an email after this event, and all of these links that you've seen in the presentation will be live and something we'd love to have you explore. So we have eFactory as our name for digital transformation. We also know that no one company can offer everything that industry needs. It takes an entire ecosystem of people and products and other companies pulling together for end user benefit. And it's extremely beneficial if there's a common backbone to tie the various pieces together. As you heard from Mariana, we introduced that concept back in 2000 by making CC Link, our family of protocols, available as a global and open standard. Mitsubishi then created the eFactory Alliance program, which is our program of technology providers and supporters. The eFactory Alliance program has literally hundreds of companies and thousands of products and should be a regular destination for all Mitsubishi Electric customers and supporters. You'll find the eFactory Alliance program integrated with every Mitsubishi Electric website around the world. eFactory Alliance delivers expertise and technologies at every level of the automation hierarchy, from the plant floor sensors, actuators, and controls to IT products and services, either on-premise or in the cloud. Today, as you've seen, there's a major focus on edge computing and edge connectivity, and eFactory represents those products and services too. The goals are to advance productivity, quality, sustainability, safety, and security for all of our customers, either through our own products or products delivered through our partners. The eFactory Alliance program has a nice logo with the symbol that you should be looking for in order to acquire Mitsubishi Electric centric solutions. Our work is far from done in terms of building this community, and we continue to welcome new members all around the globe. What's the major benefit to a member? To become part of the Mitsubishi Electric ecosystem and leverage our website and marketing to increase the visibility of either your products or your services. Who do we invite? We invite system integration companies, engineering firms, technology vendors in the IT space, component and control vendors, robotics vendors in the OT space, academia, research, and other organizations that can deliver thought leadership and education. It's a complex world out there, and we're focused on delivering all the functionality that you need, education and technologies, delivering the right job, the right tool for the right job through eFactory Alliance. And with that, we're finished, and I think we'll be opening up to questions.
Thank you very much, Roy. You are correct in that. Thank you to those of you who did submit questions during the broadcast already. If you haven't sent one in yet, now is the time. You still have time. Also, to answer the first question about whether a copy of this presentation will be made available to attendees, you can check the handout section at the bottom of the GoToWebinar panel, where you should see a PDF copy of the presentation available for download, along with a copy of our IoT Works brochure. So with that, the next question, this is one for Tom. Tom, my company produces embedded hardware. Can I submit my product for testing and inclusion in the IoT Alliance program?
Oh, by all means. You know, we are, thank you, Melissa, great question. So we are definitely interested in working with you. You know, we've got a lot of different companies and we'd like to have your products being part of our portfolio. And clearly, you know, we'll be there to help you, you know, basically go through the process of qualifying our software on your hardware. There's a minimum set of requirements in terms of what our software needs to run on from a hardware perspective. And I'm sure your hardware will be happy to work with our software. So please don't hesitate to contact me directly and we can get you engaged in our program.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom. The next question up, this one sounds like one for Mariana. If you wouldn't mind, there are several communications in CLPA mentioned. Is TSN the latest and is it replacing the others?
Okay, yes, TSN is the latest, but it's not replacing the other ones. It's based with another technology. So you obviously, we are going to encourage everyone to use this new one because it's the latest one to use. But if your process can be adapted with the other families, we can definitely do that. It will depend on the process that you are going to develop. So we need to have a little more investigation on your process and determine which one is the best for you.
Perfect, that makes sense. Thanks, Mariana. This next one up is for Nathan. If I wanted to add a flow measurement to one of your wireless devices, how would I do that?
Yeah, okay, that's a good question. Yes, so you've got a flow process. So Advantech doesn't necessarily provide the sensors, but we will take analog inputs into either any of our wireless devices. So if we can pick up on a 4 to 20 or 0 to 10 volt signal coming from your flow process or a sensor you have in your flow process, that can be read into one of our wireless nodes and then transmitted back. Depending how you're doing that, if you have an existing Wi-Fi structure there, you could use one of our Wi-Fi modules back to your access points and your Wi-Fi network. Otherwise, we would have one of our gateway devices that the node talks to communicate back into your SCADA system.
Sounds like a plan to me. Thanks, Nathan.
Sure.
Here's one for, I think this one could go to Roy. Is there a cost to joining the eFactory Alliance program?
Thank you. No, there isn't a cost to join the program. You can find information on our website to apply. The key is that we'll be working with you on a regular basis. Your products and services deliver value to our ecosystem. That's the value to us. We market your products through eFactory Alliance program. That's the value to you. So it's a very synergistic relationship.
Oh, cool. And that person just sent a quick follow-up. Can their company market more than one product or service in the eFactory Alliance program?
Oh, absolutely. We have a number of categories of products to help customers find what they're looking for easily. And if you fit in more than one category, we're happy to market you there.
Great. Thank you very much, Roy. This next one sounds like a good one for Nathan. Does the IO device accept 0 to 20 analog signals out of the box, or is an additional IO card needed?
Yeah, I kind of beat you to that. I answered it in the chat, but yes, no, they take 4 to 20s right out of the box. So take a 4 to 20, it'll take a 0 to 10 volt. It takes a variety of different inputs, so they're fairly flexible.
Perfect. Next question then. So for Mariana, Ethernet TSN is new in the market, as we've heard. So this person is worried it may still be in flux in terms of specifications. Is there risk in adopting it now?
No, there's no risk in adopting now. We have other vendors the main vendor is Mitsubishi, but obviously we have other members in the CLPA that now they are applying this technology. So no, there's not risk on applying it now because we already have equipment out there that is already working.
Great, thanks very much, Mariana. Here's another one for Tom then. The IoT Works solution you mentioned looks to be able to connect to a lot of data sources and then deliver analytics or cloud data integration independent of ICONICS or Mitsubishi. Is that the case? As an OEM of machines, can I use this to deliver monitoring and troubleshooting for our installed base of machines? Hopefully I've summarized that adequately for the asker out there. Tom, your thoughts on that?
Sure. Thank you, Melissa. So, the intention really of the IoT Work software is really to, enable connectivity, get it running on a variety of different IoT devices like all the Advantech products, and then be able to take that information and, push that data into other applications. One of the things it does is allows, connectivity, basically for all the ICONICS type applications. I mean, that's our intention, but it's about connectivity and it's about really streamlining communication. And as you push data into these cloud-based applications, I mean, clearly there's a lot of different other applications up there which tie into the IoT, basically between the IoT Alliance program and what Roy talked about with the eFactory Alliance. I've got applications that are in the cloud and they want to be able to gather that data from the cloud. So, we're doing a lot of work with Oracle. We're doing work with SAP. We're piping data into Azure. So, any application that wants to take data out of those, the cloud-based repositories are free to go do that. And that's whole part of this whole, IT, OT convergence and, really enabling, data to information integration.
Good stuff. Thanks, Tom. This looks like it might be the last question coming up unless we have a new one pop in. But for Nathan, seeing that the UNO 137 IoT Works Gateway is a PC, is it possible to run other programs on that device at the same time?
Yes, that UNO 137 gateway product is a PC, Windows-based PC, and you could run other things on that. I wouldn't run any real heavy applications, but you can do some smaller applications on that same device. And I guess part of that would be dependent as well on how many devices you're connecting to it as an IoT Works gateway. But yes, as being a full-blown PC, you should be able to run some other programs on it.
Sounds good. Thanks, Nathan. So that's it for our questions for today. If you do think of another question after we sign off, feel free to email us at webcast@iconics.com. And as a reminder, you can see all our upcoming webcasts at iconics.com/webcast on our website. So I'd encourage you to check those out. Go sign up for more today. You'll also find a vast library of on-demand webcasts at that same link. And that does wrap up our session. I'd like to thank you all for your time this morning. Hopefully you had a chance to download our handouts, but if not, you can still do so at this time. I'd also like to thank our presenters, Tom, Nathan, Mariana, and Roy for their informative presentations. And again, thanks all for taking time to join us today. Hope to see you again soon on a future ICONICS webcast. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.